What's good? What's good? Ownership and greatness family. You already know I'm your host, Joe Chege, and I'm glad to have you back on the show. Today, I just wanted to try something different. You already know, like every time we're trying out new ideas to see how I can be able to deliver more insightful information and also to engage every single one of you. All right. But I'm not going to waste my time. I'm just going to jump directly into today's session where I wanted us to talk more about doing your own research. The reason why I thought this was an interesting topic is because I normally post stories about people who have stepped out of their comfort zone, people actually doing great things in their communities, people who've decided not to settle for less and decided to step out of their comfort zone, and they're out there doing great things that inspire us. And normally, what I do whenever I'm researching a story or whenever I'm highlighting a story on the episode, I make it my duty to do the research. And not only that, to make sure that I'm sharing the contact information, the website where you can learn more about the individuals or about the product, and at least break down some more info about the guest or even about the person I'm highlighting their story. But when you go back to the comments, sometimes I see people asking questions or just critiquing or giving the opinion, which is allowed because we live in a world where you have the freedom of expressing yourself. But sometimes I wonder, I'm like, am I the only one who goes the extra mile of doing the research? I know it's too much information, but at the end of the day, I believe if you're going to consume any information, if you're going to sit down and learn something, if you're going to sit down and read something or even watch something, it's always good to take a few minutes to go an extra mile and learn more about the subject or learn more about the individual who's being highlighted in the story. Why do I say that? Because I've been a victim of this where I saw an interesting story, might have been on YouTube, it might have been on TikTok or on Instagram, and might have ended up sharing that information without verifying the validity of the story. So I've learned it the hard way personally. And so once I learned that, I was like, nah, starting now going forward, what I'm definitely going to be doing is making sure that everything I do, I verify. And so that's why I thought it was necessary to just highlight it today, because I feel like we need to go back to the habit of doing our own research. Like if you see an interesting story, guess what? It only takes a few clicks to find more information about the individual or the story. Like you don't have to go to all the mainstream media platforms to be able to get that. Now you can do an extra research if you are interested in that story, right? So something I normally do is first thing first, everybody has a social media account. I would say majority of the people. So if I see an interesting story, I'll go out and look out the name of the individual that's being highlighted on the story. I research more about them. Go on LinkedIn if it's a profession. Look at their background. Look what they actually working on, and that actually gives you a better understanding, or it actually helps you verify if the information is right. I'm saying this because I feel like it's so easy for us to be given the wrong information. It's so easy for us nowadays to conform to some ideologies that are not right. And as I always say, I'm here to bring the information that I'm learning. We are here to brainstorm together. Like anything I say should also be critiqued. Anything I highlight should also be analyzed. Like it doesn't mean you have to trust my word. No. And that's why I always make it my point to make sure that I'm putting out the information and the details so you can do your own research. All right. So I felt it was necessary to highlight this today because this is something we have to go back to doing. I'm saying this because I feel like there's so much misinformation, especially on these social media platforms. I've been on Twitter and I see a story. I go to TikTok, and when I see the same story on TikTok, it's already been completely changed. And I feel like we all want to share this information. We want to highlight all this information. But at least the least we can do is at least give the right information. Because I feel like when people get the information, the last person who gets the information, it's completely watered down. And if they go out there and start spreading the same information, then it's a whole mix up of miscommunication. And that's why I've made it my personal thing to always analyze any information I get. At least that's what I do. And I feel like you can also do that. So let's make it a habit. For me, it's just a question of trying to do the right thing, because once we do that, even when we're sharing the information with our loved ones, with our children, with the people who we value, we want to make sure we're giving them something that's more valuable, something that's been filtered, something that has facts behind it and logic behind it. So this is just my take. Like, we all have our own opinion, we all have different ways of doing things, but I just wanted to highlight this today because I felt like it was necessary. So make it a habit to do the right thing. Do your research. Any story you hear, go an extra mile. Just type it in on Google, on Yahoo, on Chrome, like wherever you research all your information. Just go that extra mile, and I guarantee you, it's valuable. Because the minute you start spreading something that's not right, the minute you start sharing information that's not legit, then at the end of the day, people start feeling like you're not giving valid information to them. And at the end of it all, who wants to be given something that's not valid? I've been a victim of that, and I'm trying to work on it, because we are all humans. But bottom line is, do your own research. Even when you see other people that are celebrities or influencers or people that you believe in, your mentors, even when they give you the information, at least make it a point to also do your own research, so that you can have something to back it up when you're talking to other people or when you're sharing your information. All right. So for ownership and greatness today, I wanted us to talk about doing our own research whenever we gain any valuable information. It might be a story, it might be something, a new technology, it might be about an influencer, a leader, or an individual who needs to be highlighted. So I felt like, as we're out here creating content, as we're out here doing research about different products in the market, doing research about implementing things in our lives, let's make it a habit of reading, of gaining more knowledge and information, because that's what happens when you do your research. It helps you step up your game in regards to the information that you're sharing. But most importantly, it helps us filter the garbage, or filter the lies, or filter the information that is not legit. And at the end of it all, once you're done researching, once you're done getting all the information you need, you'll end up having the right information that can help people step into the next level. All right. So as always, this is ownership and greatness. I didn't have much, but to just highlight that we need to do our own research. Don't trust everything you hear. Don't trust everything you see, unless you've done your research and unless you've analyzed and you're sure you know more about it. Like I said, take a few minutes. You see a story, before you start sharing it, just look at the background of it, like do your own research and analyze it, so that you can get the real deal. And once you do that, then you'll be comfortable. And at the end of the day, if something happens, you can always go back and be like, no, but this say this and this. At least you'll have something to back up the information that we are sharing on social media. And not only that, you'll have valid information instead of having all this information that has no value or doesn't have any value to yourself. Because at the end of the day, we are what we consume. So all the information you consume will actually affect you in one way or another. And the way we deliver this information is relevant. So as we continue to grow, as we continue to create, let's make sure we spend some time to research and understand the information we are sharing. And this is to all my ownership and greatness family. I want to make sure that I can add value to you, and I also want to make sure that you can add value to the next person by the sharing the right relevant information. All right, until next time, peace and blessing. I love you all.